This time on Tales of Erotasy, we discuss how to take the ween out of the peen. That's right. How are we going to make these alien penises more interesting? We also discuss the use of fanfiction as a resource in breaking into your writing style, and also a few candid conversations about my personal life. So, fellow travelers, let's take a trip down the roads of Erotasy together. Welcome to Tales of Erotasy, a place for lust, lore, and legend. I'm your host, Erica B. Thank you so much for joining me again on this journey down the roads of Erotasy. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a good time. So, my little smut goblins, it has been a long week this week. Stupid daylight savings time, stealing people's hours like that. I honestly think it's a little rude. I want to sue somebody to get that hour back. That was my hour. An hour of my life that is now gone and I'll never see again until the fall. But that's neither here nor there. I'm ready for daylight savings time to go away. But, sometimes you have to deal with things. But on top of that, I've also been in a lot of pain. So it's been a very, very trying, exhausting week. And I'm very, very happy that it's over and I'm able to finally relax and get this podcast done. Wherever you are out there, I hope you're doing well, because I know things aren't so great for most of us here, but you know what? Like I said last time, things will get better some kind of way. All we can do is try to pull through it together. So I'm going to try to make the next few minutes really fun for you, if at all possible. I'll be honest with you, I don't really have a set agenda this week, or this episode. I do definitely have a couple of reviews for you for your next read. I don't really have a tools for your trade or a reading to go through. But you know what? We're still going to have a good time. Though I think I do plan to get a little personal today. First things first, I want to give a shout out to my boy Cookie Mike. That's Mike Anderson, owner of Homemade from the Heart, which is a indie-owned cookie company here in the Baltimore area. He and I met at my day job, and I was the one who gave him the name Cookie Mike because he would peddle his wares at the office, and we all greatly enjoyed them. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure I gained like 10, 15 pounds on some chocolate chip cookies, but that's okay. These things happen. I mean, I do blame him, but it's still okay. The other day, he texted me to see how I was doing, and as I mentioned earlier, I haven't been doing so great. And he, we were teasing each other or whatever, and he was like, "It's hard to be your friend," and I'm like, Whoa, Erica B is super easygoing. I am very easy to be friends with. Believe me, I have a lot of people in my life that I'm friends with. And I'm one of those people that has a really hard time letting go of friends. So even if I don't talk to you for like 6 months or 6 years, I'm probably going to still consider you a friend unless you did something egregious. Luckily, that doesn't really happen too often, but anyway, I promised him I'd bring it up during my podcast. Actually, you know what? Dead Man Ho told me to put it in the podcast, so there you go. As promised, I mentioned your punk ass Cookie Mike, and I better be getting some kind of cookie kickback from this. I mean, I know I signed up for your delicious monthly surprise pack, and now I have to wait until the middle of next month for my next dose, but that's okay. I can wait and hold out. And yes, I did share them with my husband because I guess he deserves cookies. I don't know. That's like a lie he tells himself, but I, indulge him. So I gave him some of the cookies. And if you're in the Baltimore area, check out Homemade by the Heart. Cookie Mike. He's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And he makes some really, really delicious cookies. If you're in the Baltimore area, he can deliver. And there is a fee, of course. But the cookies themselves are giant and reasonably priced and delicious, and, the title says, homemade from the heart. They're these strawberry cookies. Oh my god. Guys, oh my god. They're like these strawberry crunch cookies. You know, like those ice cream bars from when you were a kid. That was delectable. And I did not share that one much with Nate because, well, that was my cookie and I was eating it. So there's that. So Mike, I hope you're happy. And we're going to leave it at that. Okay? Okay. Actually, that kind of rolls into one of the things that's been on my mind lately, which is the reason why I kind of had a bad week this last week, is about perception and how people see you. Now, there's only really one person in my life, I'm going to say not really in my life too much anymore, who seems to have a very different perception of me than everyone else does. And unfortunately, that person is a parent. So if anybody out there also has similar issues, you know exactly where I'm coming from. My mom messaged me the other day about taking my brothers out to dinner because of their accomplishments and everything. And while I wish I really could, I'm very homebound at this time. I mean, I don't go into the office like my coworkers do because I'm in so much pain all the time because of this condition I have called hidradenitis suppurativa. Look, I told you I was getting personal today, so you have to forgive me. If you don't know what that is, a lot of people don't, so don't feel bad if you never heard of it before, but let's just say it involves giant pus-filled cysts in areas that are very, very sensitive. And for me, one of those spots is my ass. So, unfortunately, that means I really can't sit. Most of the time, at my job, my day job, and also when it comes to writing and also doing this podcast, I'm actually laying down. I'm not sitting like a normal person does. I have troubles riding in a car for a long time. I can't sit up straight very often. Just saw my primary care doctor the other day, and he noticed I was like leaning on my side, and he was like, "Oh, so it's not going that great, huh?" And I'm like, "No, it really isn't." And unfortunately, this disease, well, it's not disease, syndrome, I don't know what to call it, but it is very hard to manage. There's no one treatment. There's absolutely no cure at this time. Everybody's case is a little bit different. It has 3 stages, and unfortunately, I'm at the worst stage of it. Fun for Erica, but what can you do? And I've had this since I was 9. This is not a new thing, and my mom knows this. And yet, she jumped on my case about not being able to take my brothers out for a meal. And keep in mind, she and I hadn't really talked for almost a year because of something she did last year that was pretty egregious that I don't really feel like talking about right now. But trust me, it wasn't pretty. And it really, really hurt. And honestly, I just never got over it. And unfortunately, I know I'm never going to get an apology for that situation, nor this one, because she doesn't understand how she puts things to me and how she treats me. And like I said, she's like the only person who seems to think I'm a bad person. And that is very, very tough. Basically, I told her, stay out of the relationship between me and my brothers. They're 16 years younger than I am. They're both adults. They have their own lives. They have their own friends. They like to go on day trips to New York City with them and their other... Well, so they have a best friend, Randy, who is basically a little brother, even though I never met him yet. But, I mean, hey, I'm cool with that. He treats my brothers good. They're a team, the 3 of them. They're all special needs. Neurodivergent. But that doesn't mean they're incapable. And they're holding down jobs and putting in the hours. And I'm very, very proud of everything they do and everything they accomplish. And I'm sorry to say, I'm proud of what they accomplished despite my mom. Because she just, unfortunately, has a lot of things that's going on with her that she refuses to deal with or see. And again, I just told her, please, stay out of our relationship. My relationship with the boys has nothing to do with you. And when I talked to them about the situation that later that day, they were like, okay, we understand why we can't go out to dinner. I mean, they didn't care. I mean, they love me. I love them. I spoil them when I get a chance, but I can't sit down in a restaurant and like, I don't really go anywhere. I mean, occasionally I'll go over to a friend's house, but it's basically too late on her couch. And all my friends are aware of the situation, and they all understand that there's not a lot I can do when I'm in a lot of pain. So, and unfortunately, the pain is just getting worse over time. So I'm very, very laid up right now. And, sorry to go on about this, but it's really been on my mind. And it really, really hurt. It really, really hurts. This one person that really should be on your side never seems to be. And any accomplishment I ever do has always been overlooked. And it's just sad. So if anyone else out there has that moment where it's someone in their life that is treating you poorly and doesn't give you credit or doesn't listen to you when you say things, listen, you don't have to put up with it. You don't have to listen. You can cut them out. And yeah, it's going to feel bad, but you deserve the peace of mind to not have that dark voice in your ear. I mean, everyone already has their own jerk voice, but that jerk voice is probably that person's voice too. Just keep that in mind, because it took me a real long time to recognize that. And you don't have to put up with it. You don't have to deal with it. The time I haven't had to deal with her has been really good for me. I was very upset that she contacted me. And yeah, I could block her, but it's odd because I in a way, I'm kind of keeping an eye on her, because part of me is really afraid that someday she's just going to kind of flip out and I'm going to have to come rescue the twins. And that's basically the real reason why I haven't blocked her yet completely. I mean, I did for a time before, but that was a couple of years ago. Yeah, I just want to put that out there. It's like, if you don't take anything else away from this, me talking into the void here, you deserve better. You definitely don't need to put up with it. And listen, you're a wonderful person, in my opinion. I don't know you. Yeah, that's true. I don't know you, but I think you're wonderful. And you go out there and live your dreams, and don't let anyone bring you down and hold you back. Okay? That's really important to me. And again, yeah, I know I don't personally know you, but you matter. Even if you think you don't matter to anyone else, you matter to me. Okay? And if you need me, I'm around. Send me a message. I'm happy to chit chat. You're not alone, okay? Alright, so yeah, enough of that sappy shit. Okay, we're going to move on to something a little bit more fun. One of the things I do want to mention from the last podcast, I said that the very important chapter for The Last Son of Danu was supposed to drop on the 11th. Haha, I got my chapters wrong. It's actually going to be on this Tuesday, which would be the day before I release this podcast. So if you haven't caught up on The Last Son of Danu, this current chapter that will be out by the time you're listening to this, that's the important magical chapter that I've been waiting for a very long time. And I'm super excited about it. And I hope you enjoy it, because like I mentioned, this is like the chapter that made me really fall in love with the characters, it's particularly Kay. And yeah, it's just the part that's been like in my heart for a very long time. And I'm so excited to actually have it like out in the world. So if you haven't had a chance to, check out Last Son of Danu. It's available on Substack and Inkit. If you go to ericabeal.com / Last Son, you'll be able to go to either link and read it. Oh my god, did I say link? Link or linked? Link. Oh no. Link. The link. You can go to the link, not the length. I don't know where that came from. Probably all the smut reading and writing. Speaking of length, there is one thing that has been on my mind lately, and it's going to tie into one of the books that one of the short stories I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. Alien penises. Listen, I get it. Nobody really wants to talk about a weird dick, but honestly, a lot of the sci-fi smut stories I've read, to be specific, have involved penises that are strangely human. I mean, the only thing that's different is they're ginormous. And I honestly realized something after reading this last book that we're going to talk about soon that kind of bothers me. I feel like there needs to be some funky dicks out there in these stories. For example, I don't know if you got a chance to check out my story, Decontamination, but one of the main characters is a human alien hybrid, and his Mr. Winky ain't like normal. And I'm just saying, there's a good chance that penises from other worlds would be quite different than the ones that we're used to here at home. I mean, I've never seen a Klingon penis, but I would assume it has some kind of ridging. I mean, why not? I mean, I'm assuming Vulcan penises are kind of green. Look, I watched a lot of Star Trek growing up, and I did think about these things quite a bit when I was a little bit older enough to understand all the mechanical bits that are, and the nether, yeah. So, yeah, I'm just thinking there needs to be more stories that involve strange alien phalluses. Because, I mean, I know what a person's dick looks like. I've seen a couple. And, I mean, yeah, they're great. But also, I mean, they're not that great. I could be enticed with something shinier. Shinier? Why not? You know what? Yeah. Why not? Why not a shiny penis? You know, it kind of just glows in the dark. Think about how much easier that would make certain acts if it glowed. I mean, that would eliminate a lot of confusion, I think. So that is my thoughts on alien penises. I know you didn't ask, and you probably didn't want to know. But it's too late now. It's already out there. I hope you enjoyed that bit. Because now we're just going to roll right on into your next read. So, our first story is Desired by the Alien by Lily Vale. Now listen, first of all, Lily Vale is out here putting in the work. She has a lot of short stories available on Kindle Unlimited. And they're fun. I mean, I've read a couple of them and they're definitely a lot of fun. So you should definitely check out her stuff. Now keep in mind, this is a short story, so I'm not going to go into too much detail because there is a little bit of a plot. And I think you should go ahead and check it out and find out for yourself. But basically, it's about a young woman named Zoe who is going on vacation to an alien planet on a beach. And, you know, she's just there to relax, unwind, de-stress, things that we all need. And if you're an American, you're probably not going to see for another few years. I'm sorry about our luck. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that any further than that. While she's on the beach relaxing one morning, she happens to injure herself. And, on a strange alien beach, that might not be the best sign, except when a dishy, gorgeous alien doctor friend pops up from nowhere and carries her back to his home. So, honestly, that is the long and short of the whole story. So I'm not going to go any further than that in detail, but I can tell you this. The story itself is very well written. It's a lot of fun, very fast paced. It's short, so you can read it probably in like an hour if that much time is needed. Very descriptive. You can tell that it's her words. Even if she edited with AI, can't even tell. The smut is very, very good. Very, very fun. But unfortunately, as it comes back to what we just talked about, the alien dick sounds quite normal, just big. And, I'm thinking Corin is the alien hot doctor. Could have something strange going on with that penis. But that's okay. Maybe it just be a little too weird for other people. I'm just saying. But yeah, it definitely was a good read. It was a nice, quick read. Very, very fun. Very fast-paced. Very, very steamy. The writing was good. So I'm going to have to say, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 peaches. Only because it was a little short. And I'm going to definitely say 3 eggplants. Because it was pretty steamy. I did have a lot of fun with that one. It wasn't like stank nasty. It was good smut, like the good comfortable smut you're looking for right as you're drifting off to sleep, and hopefully lead to some really good dreams. So much kudos to Lily Vale for yet another fun story out there in the world for all of us to enjoy. And let's move on to the next one. All right, so this next one, I might butcher the name, unfortunately. Not the name of the story, but the name of the artist. But the story is called Vale of the Night by Matija Barrick. Maybe it might be Matija Barrick. Matija, and last name is Baric. So this story is another short one. It's about 24 pages on KU, and it's a story about a young woman who works in a bookstore named Elise Tanner. One night she's working a late shift. It's like about almost midnight when a man walks in. Beautiful man. Dark coat with old leather. He was, broad-shouldered, coming at her down the aisles. And, she really doesn't think much of it at the time. It's just like, like anybody who, when it's that late at night, I'm ready to go the hell home. So, hey, we're about to close up. When eventually, he takes a bite out of her. That's right, y'all. This is a vampire story. Woo! Now, again, it's a little short, so I don't want to go into too much detail. And it's not really exactly a smutty story. It has some passion, in a fated mate kind of way, which, honestly, I think I mentioned before, I'm not a huge fan of stories where it's like, almost like you're destined to be together. I guess it's a little unfair because there's some elements of my own story that is kind of like people are destined to be together, but I don't know. I'll tell you what my problem with it is. It kind of reminded me of Twilight. Now, I'm not a fan of those kind of stories. There's a lot of, they're after us, but there's no explanation of why people are chasing after these two characters after the vampire gives her a love bite and now they're connected. It's like, okay, that's great, but why? And I didn't really get a sense of that answer. And I don't know if maybe there are just supposed to be more stories attached to this one that leads up to the reasoning, but I don't know. I kind of feel like in this situation, you need a little bit more detail to really get into the story. Also, and I hate to criticize this, but the writing style was a little rough to read. There were a lot of dashes in places. Some people write with like a lot of ellipses. Well, this person uses dashes, and it was kind of hard to read. And also, and this might just be me, but I have a detached retina in my left eye, so sometimes I can't see that great. It's mostly okay. I mean, I can usually get by every day, and there's just sometimes it's a little bit fuzzy, but the whole story is in italices, and I really had a lot of trouble reading it because of that. So, I mean, honestly, that's just a formatting issue, and not necessarily a story issue, but it did really take me out of it. So, honestly, if there are parts I'm missing, like if there was a part where they said what was happening, I may have just missed it because I couldn't read it. I was struggling. But, I mean, it's definitely a good idea. I mean, there's good tension between the characters, and the scene where they're kind of, making out is very sweet and passionate. It's just, I kind of, again, I felt like I needed more from this particular type of story. It's not a story that should have been a short story. I think that's what my problem with it was. This was definitely a story that was meant to be a longer story. And it's fine if you want to release in episodes. I just don't think Kindle Unlimited is the way to go for that particular format. When they had Vale, I mean, that was, Amazon Vale was out. That, kind of format works. I mean, honestly, I think this person would have been better off if they had released this something more like Inkit. But, I mean, it got me to read it, so, I mean, I guess it can't be that bad, but I don't know. I just really wasn't really feeling that particular story. And I really hate to ding it for the formatting, but, whew, I struggle, guys. I was like, whew, I cannot read this. It's a story that probably on a normal day would have taken me like 30 minutes to read, if that long. It took me probably like an hour or more because I struggled that much with the italices. And again, I know that's my problem, not the writers, but I think the important part is that if you're going to release short stories and format it yourself, you want to make sure to keep the formatting something that everyone would have, it is something that is accessible to everyone, is what I'm trying to say. So this one, honestly, I'm gonna have to give maybe like 2 peaches out of 5, and because I mean the story was okay, it just wasn't enough, and the smut level was like maybe 2 eggplants. I don't even know if I really want to say that because I really felt that story was very, very innocent. You know what? No, 1 eggplant, just 1. Yeah, so that's how I feel about that. I mean, it was a good first showing. I just need some tidying up, I think. And again, I know I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan of these types of stories. So, I mean, if you're out there listening, you can take it with a grain of salt, of course. Like I said, I struggled. And it kind of made it the experience not as fun as it could have been. Alright, so the last thing I think I want to talk about today is fanfiction. I know this is like totally random, but I found myself going down a few rabbit holes lately that I haven't gone down in some time. And I gotta say, I kind of forgotten how wonderful fanfiction can be. And I actually wrote an article about this before, but it really is a gateway for people to be independent erotica writers or independent romance writers. And I think anyway, because there's so much that you can learn about your own writing style by playing in somebody else's world. And, I mean, honestly, that's how I got my start. I mean, I'm not going to say sadly. I'm not going to kink shame myself. I'm not going to yuck my own yum. And I was about to, but I'm not going to yuck my own yum. Spirited Away. I loved Spirited Away. And honestly, I really wanted stories about what happened when Chihiro grew up and maybe met with Haku again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, yes, it's animated. Go watch it. I don't care how old you are. The story itself is so sweet and so innocent and so beautiful. And I mean, it's like chef's kiss Miyazaki. Oh my God. such a good anime. It's probably still to this day my favorite one of all time. I love that one. Nate sent it to me when we were still dating. He was on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast. We're both on the East Coast now, I should say. And one day he just shipped it my way. Oh, I think you'll like this, babe. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it a look. And oh, I fell in love. And that's how I found out about fan fiction, because I wanted more. No, I'm going to take that back. I think actually I found out about fan fiction from Final Fantasy VII. But I didn't realize it was fan fiction at the time. And I thought it was like, oh, wow, this is like a continuation of the story. I didn't realize a fan wrote it. I was young and stupid. Anyway. But that's for Spirited Away is what made me start writing fan fiction. And I think there's something very, very powerful, and it's a very powerful tool to get started in your writing career. I mean, think about it. The world is already there. You'll learn how to establish your own world by playing in somebody else's. And that's also kind of how I got involved in Crimson as well, because like I mentioned in my first podcast, I started building my world because of what Tommy exposed me to. Exposed. So if it wasn't for him and his creative genius, I would not even probably been able to build upon what I've built. I mean, again, our stories are very different, but also similar now. But yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think the best way to start the trade is to start by writing a couple of fan fictions. Doesn't have to be long. You don't even have to show anyone them, but there are plenty of places. I mean, fanfiction.net is still out there. Archive of Our Own, which has been my go-to spot recently for fan fiction. There's plenty of people out there doing it. And if you are like, I kind of enjoy writing, but I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm going to say start with a fan fiction. Find your ship and start writing. I mean, right now, I've been back into Lucifer, and I've been loving on Chloe and Lucifer, and I started reading some fan fiction there. And that's where the other night I was like lying in bed reading some of those stories, and I was like, you know what? This is what made me feel passionate about smut writing. I don't even know if I had read any or too many stories outside of fan fiction prior to that drove me. The only other story I can think of that was kind of smut-tacular was the Black Jewels trilogy, which now is a whole series, but by Anne Bishop. I mean, that also got me into writing, especially when it comes to like dark fantasy. So between, that and then fan fiction, I really feel like my style kind of developed. And I learned from it. I mean, there's other things to learn from too as well, but for the most part, like the biggest chunk of it really came from fan fiction. And I have to give the entire fan fiction community kudos, because there's so much of it out there, and a lot of it is really, really good, and a lot of it is very fun. Some of it a little demented, and I'm like, oh my, I would have never considered such a thing. But yeah, people are putting in the work. And if you're a fan fiction writer, don't let anyone diminish your talent, because even though, yeah, it is somebody else's world and you didn't work on building the world, that story is yours. The story you wrote is your story. It is your idea. You just applied your idea to something that was already there, like adding to a structure. You're posting a little picture on the wall that was already built, and that doesn't make it less, in my opinion. So keep on writing. If you're not sure if you really are cut off writing, or if you are wanting to hone your skills, write a fan fiction about your favorite ship. And there's so many to choose from. I mean, like I said, Chloe and Lucifer. Oh my god. Garrus Vicarian and Female Shepherd, or any Shepherd, really. Oh gosh. See, again, Alien Dick. It all comes back to Alien Dick. I think that is going to be the title of this episode.
Yes. Yes, that sounds good. Anyway, it was another good one. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank now because I started thinking about penises. Such is life. That often happens to me every day. So, yeah. There's so much out there. And you'll never get bored. And it's all free. So, I mean, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, free is definitely one of my favorite words. So, nothing wrong with that. And, oh man, there's this one particular story that was on Archive of Our Own that was about Garrus and Shepard. It was Aziza Shepard was the character name, was that version of Shepard. And there's a story about how the crew got stuck way out and it took them like 5 years to get back. And oh my god, that reunion between Garrus and Z was so beautiful. Unfortunately, I think the writer took that one down because I haven't been able to find it again, and it's really, really disappointing because there was like a time, a couple of maybe like a year ago. Well, I don't know if it was that long ago, but it was maybe in the summer, possibly. That I think I've read that story like 3 times. And it was really long. It was like 30 chapters long, if I remember correctly. But it was just so beautifully done. And I kept thinking, oh my god, this writer needs to like write a real book. And again, it's not diminishing her fan fiction or his or her fan fiction. But this person, you can tell they've cut their teeth on their fan fiction. And now it's time for Sis to get out there and do her own, because she's going to be amazing when she does. If she hasn't already. If you're out there and you know what I'm talking about, or you know who I'm talking about, please let me know. If you find that fiction, please let me know, because I'm like itching to read it again. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm itching to read that story again. It's like crack. It's like me and the Black Jewels trilogy. The first 3 books, oh my god. Y'all, I've read those books so many times. And Nate, my wonderful sweet Nate, he had somebody make a hardbound copy of it with his own cover, like a custom made cover of it. Oh, it was like one of the coolest gifts he's ever given me, and he's given me some really good gifts. He's very, very good at getting me jewelry, which is one of my favorite things. Well, I know you didn't turn this on to listen to that kind of crap, huh? Anyway, it's too late now. It's at the end of the show, right? So, anyway, you know, I don't know about you, but I definitely had a good time today. Again, I'm sorry I didn't really have a reading for you. I have a couple of stories in mind that I'm working on. A lot of it's not smut these days. I have this crazy story idea for a fantasy, sci-fi story about mad scientists creating an AI to pretend to be God to manipulate people that I'm working on now. And I think I'm going to put that on my regular Erica B Substack, not into Tales of Erotasy, because, well, it's not erotic. So that story is going to be coming pretty soon. And then also, the next part of my Seasons of Temptation series, I'll have that released by the end of the month. If you haven't checked it out, it's about a princess who has 4 men that she has taken on as her companions, her particular companions, if you know what I mean. It's set up in a world where the women are in charge, as we should be, in my personal opinion. And the women who are in charge typically have 4 lovers from different houses or different regions of the world that's left. And the story is about the princess's experiences with these 4 men. And in the middle of the story, she's also writing a letter to her valet. I don't know if valet is the right word, but this person is the person who basically tutored her during her formative years and everything. And I mean, so far, it's really, really sweet. The first one is already out, Spring Serenade, about her first lover who is Ren. And there's 4 of them all together. So the next one is Summer, where you'll meet Karn. And their relationship is totally different because they actually knew each other before he became her lover. But you'll find out more about that, right? And keep in mind that one is free if you have Kindle Unlimited. The one that's already out, Spring Serenade. And also the one that'll be Summer also will be available for free on Kindle Unlimited or $2.99. And hey, listen, if you're a listener, don't worry. By the time I get them all done, I'm just going to put them together in a box set anyway, so you might want to wait. But hey, if you have Kindle Unlimited and want to give me some reads, hey, listen, I'm not mad about that. I wouldn't mind it at all. And in between that series is going to be Her Majesty's Courtesan, another story about a woman who gets to have a dishy lover, like an imperial princess. That one's a lot of fun. I am having a lot of fun with that one for sure. It's a little silly, I think, in a good way. I'm enjoying the characters. And honestly, they're kind of taking a life of their own at this point. So I don't even know where the story... I had a mind of where the story is going, but now as I've been reading it and working on it, I'm like, I don't know if the story is going to go the same way. We'll see how it is, how it all will work out. Either way, it'll be smutty and fun and enjoyable and free on Kindle Unlimited, as always. Alright, my favorite little smut goblins. I think we've come to the end. I have talked at you long enough for this time, so, 2 more weeks. Well, 2 weeks. What am I talking about? 2 weeks from today, you'll get another one. But for today, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey through lust, lore, and legend. If you enjoyed today's episode, no matter how much I prattled on, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. After all, it's the best way to keep the passion alive. Until next time, stay curious, stay daring, and keep dreaming of worlds beyond.